Here's another Black history fact. Dorothy Dandridge, the iconic actress and trailblazer, is widely celebrated for her groundbreaking contributions to Hollywood during an era of racial segregation. However, her autobiography, Everything and Nothing, The Dorothy Dandridge Tragedy, offers a surprising revelation. Dandridge mentioned her personal UFO sighting experience. In her autobiography, Dandridge recounts a night in 1952 when she claimed to have witnessed a UFO while driving with her then-manager, Earl Mills. She described an otherworldly, saucer-like object that followed their car, emitting strange lights. This account remains one of the lesser-known aspects of Dandridge's life, often overshadowed by her cinematic achievements. Dandridge's UFO sighting, while a curious addition to her life story, reflects the enduring mystery and fascination surrounding unidentified flying objects. It also underscores the fact that even prominent figures like Dandridge have had personal encounters with unexplained phenomena, reminding us of the enduring intrigue and curiosity associated with the uncharted realms of the cosmos. If you enjoyed this post, follow Black Genius Path. For more Black history facts, don't forget to like, comment, and share this post.
You most likely know Dorothy Dandridge as the first Black woman to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. But did you know this about her? Dorothy's personal life was far from the glamorous life the public eye thought she had. A lot of this had to do with her daughter Harolyn Suzanne Nicholas, who was born September 2nd, 1943. In 1943, Dandridge was a young and upcoming actress who had recently married dancer Harold Nicholas. She was pregnant and went into labor at her sister-in-law's house on September 2nd. Dorothy wanted to go to the hospital, but she could not because her husband had the car. Thus, she delayed the birth, which cut off oxygen to the baby's brain and resulted in permanent brain damage. It wasn't until Harolyn was 2 years old that Dandridge noticed that she wasn't developing correctly and started taking her to child psychoanalysts. The analysts claimed that she was being affected by her parents' lifestyle, but an actual doctor said that she had brain damage and suggested that she be given up. Dorothy Dandridge felt so much guilt about giving her daughter up, but this was around the same time she started to rise to fame. Dorothy never forgave herself for giving up heroin, which later contributed to her substance abuse. She even said this in her autobiography. If it is possible for a human being to be like a haunted house, maybe that would be me. May they both rest in peace.
He won't pay any mind to you. One man gives me his diamond stud, and I won't give him a cigarette. One man treats me like I was mud, and all I got that man can get. That's all he knows.
I've seen people comparing how much Dorothy Dandridge looks like Doja Cat, and some people say I look like Doja Cat.
Girl, shut up! But while we're on the subject, let me introduce you to the iconic performer, Dorothy Dandridge.
Born to another actress, Dorothy was pushed into show business at a very young age.
She traveled in a dance act with her sister all over the country, but soon she pulled a Beyonce and went solo and started performing in more venues by herself.
And people loved her. They were so attracted to her and her energy, but most of the time whenever she would perform at venues or restaurants, she wouldn't even be allowed to eat or drink because of segregation.
Oh wait, what a night. Do you mind if I can get a drink?
No, Negro.
No. How you gonna ask me to perform but I can't get a drink? White man.
Dorothy continued to capture audiences in many iconic films.
One of the most iconic ones was Carmen, which is a film adaptation of an opera, and she brought so much energy to this role that she became the first Black woman to be nominated for an Academy Award.
Now don't go yet, but this where the bullshit comes in. Although Dorothy was a star, the industry of Hollywood and her personal life gave her struggle. She had a daughter, but she suffered brain damage, and she had a husband who was a womanizer and eventually left the family. And after Carmen, Hollywood took a look at Dorothy's black skin and only wanted to cast her in very demeaning roles, and Dorothy rarely accepted them. Dorothy ended up passing away from drug overdose at 42 years old, but this does not take away from the fact that she heavily influenced Hollywood. Dorothy recognized that she was opening doors for Black women to shine. And shine, she did.
Dorothy Dandridge had the pressure of the world and her people on her shoulders. The starlet was achieving major success, but it all came crashing down because even her Black excellence wasn't enough. Dorothy Dandridge was the dazzling doll of the 1940s. From TV to film, she was a star on the big screen, snatching up roles and collecting prestigious awards. But her Black excellence wasn't enough. Black excellence refers to a high level of achievement, success, or ability demonstrated by an individual Black person or by Black people in general. Although many of us consider it a goal to strive toward, constantly chasing excellence creates a standard for perfection that's impossible to live up to, and that can be mentally detrimental. Dandridge felt she was under a world of pressure because many at the time looked to her as a representation of the success of our people, especially under the constant thumb of anti-Blackness in Hollywood. The pressure was never ending, leaving the starlet to feel like nothing was ever enough. It's not our desire to be excellent that's harmful. It's the anti-Black built systems that put hurdles in our paths, but keep us chasing perfection and exceptionalism that are. This chase led Dandridge to an early death by suicidal overdose. Too many of our people perish by suicide for similar reasons, but we don't have to. We are all worthy just by our very existence. We deserve to exist without the weight of the world on our shoulders. You are great just because you're here, Black and beautiful. Everything else is just a bonus. We all know schools aren't teaching Black history correctly. That's why Push Black is so important. Will you support truthful, accurate, empowering Black history content with a donation? With as little as $5 a month, you can help support Black-led media. Click the link in our bio to subscribe to a monthly donation now.
Harry Belafonte once said Dorothy Dandridge was the right person in the right place at the wrong time. Dorothy was born in 1922 to Ruby Dandridge and Cyril Dandridge. Her parents separated shortly before she was born, and her father Cyril left the family. Some say they separated because Ruby wanted to live with her companion and possible lover, Geneva Williams. Ruby and Geneva noticed the talent of Dorothy and her sister Vivian and pushed them into show business as a song and dance team. Unfortunately, Geneva abused the sisters in more ways than one and would push them extremely hard as performers. The Dandridge sisters got their first big break at Paramount with the big broadcast of 1936 in a trio with their friend Etta Jones. Dorothy began working in small film roles throughout the 30s but refused to accept any role as a slave or servant. She was married in 1943 and gave birth to her daughter Harolyn. After Dorothy Dandridge divorced her husband, her career took off. She returned to the nightclub circuit and had significant success as a solo singer. She performed at the Mocambo in Hollywood with Desi Arnaz's band and sold out a 14-week engagement at La Vienne Rose. She then became an international star, taking her act to glamorous venues around the world. Her first starring film role came in 1953, playing a schoolteacher in Bright Road. Carmen Jones was the role that made her a star in 1954. It was a worldwide success and one of the year's highest-grossing films. This led to her being the first Black woman to be nominated for Best Actress at the Academy Awards. Her fame level was now comparable to Ava Gardner and Marilyn Monroe. She was even on the cover of Life magazine, and it seemed like she was on top of the world. Unfortunately, this wouldn't last. I'll cover her career downfall in Part 3. In 1955, Dorothy Dandridge signed a 3-movie deal with 20th Century Fox, who claimed they wanted to make her the first African-American screen icon. She turned down several roles thanks to the advice of her now lover Otto Preminger. After a 3-year absence on screen, she finally agreed to appear in An Island in the Sun. The film was controversial but also a huge hit. Unfortunately, every film that followed was a flop. Good roles were hard to find, and she was limited in her picks of leading men thanks to the Motion Picture Production Code. As her film career began to fail, she ended up in several abusive and bad relationships and had significant financial issues. She turned to heavy drinking and antidepressants, and it affected her ability to perform. She had little luck returning to the nightclub circuit. In 1965, she was found dead in her Hollywood apartment. She had $2.14 in her bank account.
On this day in 1965, Hollywood starlet Dorothy Dandridge died at age 42. Despite the speculation and controversy around her passing, Dorothy Dandridge is remembered as a trailblazing Black actress and singer. She rose to prominence in the 1950s as one of the first Black actresses to achieve mainstream success in Hollywood. Her talent and beauty captivated audiences, and she became a symbol of elegance and grace. She may be best known for starring in the film Carmen Jones, for which she earned an Academy Award nomination. Dandridge faced racial discrimination and limited opportunities in the film industry, but left a lasting impact on the entertainment world. Unfortunately, Dorothy Dandridge was found dead in her West Hollywood apartment on September 8, 1965, at the age of 42. The cause of death was ruled as an accidental overdose of a prescription medication. Her life and career have been the subject of numerous articles, documentaries, and a 1999 HBO film.